Ladies and gentlemen, it's a brand new day, which means that somewhere out there's a YouTuber crafting up the absolute worst way imaginable to apologize for a mistake that they've made. I don't really know what it is about becoming a YouTuber that makes you incapable of just like owning up to something like a normal human, but I'm really not looking forward to the day that I make a mistake and I have an urge to go buy a ukulele. Now, whenever I make a video on influencer drama, I always try and make sure that if the person who's at the center of the drama makes some sort of response or apologizes or just does something to address the situation, I always try and cover that as well. I feel like it's only fair since a lot of the times I'm likely putting a lot of new eyes on the situation and I'm contributing to a person being seen in a certain way for whatever they did. So I feel like it's only right that if they do something to make things better, I make that known. However, on the other side of the coin, sometimes they'll address the situation, they'll make a response, they'll issue an apology, and things don't get much better. And unfortunately, in my opinion, an opinion I'm open to having changed, that's what we're dealing with today. Last week, I made a video on a YouTuber named Dustin Poynter, aka the Red Flag Guy, after he made a video that included an undisclosed sponsorship for a pretty predatory service. He made a video where he took a sponsorship from a company called Loomis, and in that video, the way the sponsorship was formatted was that he read this like made-up Reddit story about a person who used this app to find out that their husband was cheating on them with their mother. The fake story ended by the person saying like, am I going crazy or did this app actually just predict the future? And then Dustin immediately goes into his own anecdote where he's like, yeah, this shit really works. My friend used it and found out his ex still loved him. And at no point whatsoever is it obvious that this sponsorship was a sponsorship. Now, doing an undisclosed sponsorship is a big enough problem on its own, but the bigger issue is that he was taking a sponsorship from a company that wanted people to believe that their app could actually predict the future, which obviously is already predatory enough, but I feel like targeting a channel that is all about relationships and life advice makes it even worse. Anyways, after he released that video, the comment section was full of criticism. There didn't seem to be a single comment that wasn't about the sponsorship, and within a few days of the video going live, he decided to archive it. And I know that because earlier he made a community post addressing the sponsorship, and in my humble opinion, it's not the best. Now look, I'm really not trying to drag this because at the end of the day, this is just not that big of a deal, but somebody sent me this community post, and after I read it, I was just so fucking confused, because on one hand, since he decided to delete the video, he had to have been reading the comments, like he had to have been aware that people were not happy about this sponsorship, but at the same time, if you read his apology or his response or whatever, it seems like he doesn't understand why people were upset at all. It's very confusing, and it does not compute to me whatsoever, so I wanted to get your guys' opinion on it because I can't make sense of it. So let's not waste any more time. Let's read this response. Please subscribe. Hey gang, my apologies for not addressing this sooner. We had to work through the yucky business side of things before I was able to say anything publicly. If you watched my most recent video last week, you saw it included a sponsorship that a lot of folks weren't happy with. I was unaware of the brand's reputation of using AI for their products, and I also delivered the ad how I was instructed to without pushing back more than I should have. Both of these things are on me. I'm really sorry for letting you all down. Damn it, man. I hate upsetting people, and I hate upsetting those who actively support me on a regular basis. I've admitted lost a lot of sleep over this. Neither of these issues align with who I am as a creator and a human being, and they're not what my channel is going to be about. I'm just here to create, be silly, and take care of my family. I have absolutely zero interest in deception. After meeting with my team, I decided to archive the video and end the partnership. I've also directed my full-time employee, my girlfriend's brother, to heavily look into the backgrounds of every single future partnership opportunity to ensure the brand's validity and reputation. I'll be researching more carefully as well, but I just want to be as diligent as possible. There are now 3 separate groups of people who will vet everything, so this 100% will not happen again. I'm truly sorry about this, and I cannot thank you all enough for being here. So, right off the bat, like I said, it doesn't really seem like whoever wrote this up understood why so many people did not like the advertisement. Sure, a big part of it was the undisclosed nature of it, but the way this reads, it seems like Dustin thinks that the main issue most people had was that they used AI. That was not it at all. I barely saw anybody say anything about AI in the comment section. What people were upset about was that he was plugging a psychic app that both him and the app claimed could accurately predict the future. That was the issue, not that the psychics were AI. Obviously, that doesn't help, but the big gripe here was that a grown man was plugging an app that charges you by the minute to talk to a psychic. That, again, he claimed could actually predict the future and tell you what's going to happen in your life. That's the big issue. The second big issue is that I'm sorry, but this apology, this response, whatever you want to call it, is absolutely absolute fucking bullshit. I downloaded this app to see if you could realistically be tricked into thinking it was a halfway decent company. In his video, he advertises that your first chat is free. This is the first chat I got. It's like 3 minutes of what is obviously talking to an AI, and you cannot navigate the app without doing this. You can't immediately end the chat. You have to go through this chat to do anything meaningful, which leads me to believe nobody on this guy's team even bothered downloading the app, much less did they do any research at all. He said he's directed his employee to heavily look into the backgrounds. I don't think the employee was looking into anything to begin with. Like, come on, you can't bullshit me and tell me that this all just slipped past you, that if you did more research, you might have figured it out. You guys literally did nothing. I refuse to believe that anything other than the number that they offered you went into making the decision on whether or not you're going to take this sponsorship. The absolute bare minimum, just downloading the app and seeing what it looks like, would have told you to run, which makes me incapable of taking this response seriously. Like, come on, why say any of this shit? Damn it, man, I hate upsetting people. Well, shit, you may hate upsetting people, but you sure don't care about lying to them. Just be honest. Say they offered you a lot of money and you didn't care to look into it. Not only is that the truth, it's more respectable. Don't come at me with this sob story of, oh, me, the red flag guy, could somehow not see the biggest red flag of an app of all time right in front of my face. It just slipped past me and my team, guys. I'm so sorry. No, you're not. You wanted the money. It's fine. Money's awesome. Just be real. Like, honestly, in my opinion, this is a worse look than just not saying anything. To pretend that this just like slipped past you and your team somehow, that to be able to tell that this was a dog shit app, you would have had to do some sort of like extensive research. It's kind of pathetic. I mean, come on, let's take some real accountability here, not just internet accountability. This guy's entire shtick on the internet is being able to know what's good behavior and what's bad behavior. He's supposed to be this like moral compass, and after a company asked him to 1, deliver an ad without making it seem like it's an ad, 2, tell his audience that this app could accurately predict the future, and 3, make up a bullshit story about how this app helped one of his friends, which not only serves as a personal vouch for an app that he clearly did no research on whatsoever, but also helps further conceal the fact that this was an ad. After all that, he really couldn't tell the app was a red flag? Really? Come on, dude. This is bullshit. But apparently this guy knows his audience pretty well, because it's bullshit that they are eating up. If you go to this post, all of the top comments are people praising this guy, calling him the biggest green flag ever, saying, oh, we're so proud of you, look at you wronging your rights. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Are we looking at the same post? Not only did this guy not address any of the actual criticism he got, but this response reads as if this happening was like unavoidable with his current system. And I mean, like, sure, maybe if he admitted his current system was just not vetting any of the sponsorships he takes, but what's supposed to be this like big show of good faith is just meaningless when you think about it for more than 3 seconds, and I'm surprised nobody's commenting on it. Again, they would have had to do zero research on this app whatsoever to not realize that it's a shitty company to take a sponsorship from. So the idea that they're like stepping up their vetting game and it's not going to get through anybody now, it's like, what are you fucking talking about? I would say it's a really bad look, but based off the comments this post got, I guess it's not. You have to scroll through dozens of comments before you see anybody say any of the stuff I'm bringing up, and it seems like as far as most of the top commenters are concerned, this is a masterclass on how to respond to a mistake. Again, grand scheme of things, this is really not that big of a deal. This is probably not something I'm ever going to think about after I upload this video, but just the way this was handled is very strange to me, and I'm surprised so many people are cool with it. That's really it. Well, guys, what are your thoughts? Like I said, this is kind of like a low-stakes situation in the grand scheme of things, but I just could not understand the community's response once this guy released this address. It was so strange to me because every single person in that video was calling him out for the sponsorship. And then he releases this post, which doesn't really address anything that people were giving him shit for. And then like suddenly he says this bullshit and he's like the most morally sound YouTuber ever. He should be training other YouTubers on how to apologize. It just makes no sense. Again, if he just came out and said, look, they offered me a lot of money and I didn't really think you guys would care, that would have been 10 times better than this bullshit. Just be honest. It's not that damn hard. If people can't forgive you after you give a genuine apology for a mistake, that's on them. A bullshit apology like this, different story in my opinion. So yeah.